Don't tell anyone. Forgive me. The trembling handwriting on the first page of a dusty notebook made my 65-year-old heart leap in my chest. It was a chest hidden in the attic, forgotten for decades, full of notebooks that belonged to my daughter, Emily. The thin air of the attic in our Vermont home seemed to thicken with the weight of the secret I was about to uncover. I, Scarlett, always believed I knew every corner of my only daughter's soul, but that chest, discovered by chance during a spring cleaning, whispered a story I would never have imagined. The fine dust covering the old objects seemed to carry with it the time and memories that Emily had guarded so zealously. Each notebook, with its faded covers and worn spines, was a portal to a part of her life that was completely unknown to me. My hands, marked by time and the work of a life dedicated to family, trembled as I turned the pages, feeling the texture of the aged paper. That first note, almost a lament, was an irresistible invitation to delve into a past that, I feared, could shake the present. If you've ever felt curiosity pull you into a mystery that might be better left untouched, you'll understand what I felt at that moment. If this story is already gripping you, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any details of this shocking revelation. Curiosity, mixed with a chilling premonition, propelled me to continue. The phrase, "Don't tell anyone, forgive me," repeated in my mind as I turned the page. And then the name, a name that upon being read made the world spin around me. It wasn't just any name. It was the name of someone my husband, Arthur, and I had banished from our lives over 20 years ago. A name associated with a family tragedy that cost us years of pain and silence. The notebook fell from my hands, and the sound echoed in the attic, seeming to amplify the shock that paralyzed me. Emily, my sweet Emily, who always seemed so transparent, so connected to us, harbored such a deep and dangerous secret. The dates in the notebooks indicated that the diaries covered a period that extended from her adolescence to adulthood, including the most turbulent years of our family. What else could be hidden there? What kind of forgiveness was she pleading for? And why was that name, that very name, connected to all of this? A wave of nausea hit me. I needed to share this with Arthur, but the fear of what this revelation would do to him, to the fragile peace we had built, consumed me. That chest was not just a repository of memories. It was a Pandora's box about to be opened. Arthur's cry still echoed in my ears as I knelt beside his inert body. Panic overwhelmed me, but the instinct of a mother and wife, forged in 65 years of life, spoke louder. I called emergency. My voice choked, barely able to spell the address of our Vermont home. The paramedics arrived in a matter of minutes, and the scene became a blur of sirens, hurried voices, and the image of Arthur being carried on a stretcher. At the hospital, the wait was excruciating. The doctors spoke of acute stress, an emotional shock that had overwhelmed his already weakened heart. While Arthur was in the ICU, fighting to recover, I sat in the waiting room, Emily's notebook still clutched in my hands. That name, the cause of all the suffering, hammered in my mind. I decided I couldn't wait. I needed to understand. I opened the diary again, ignoring the guilt of invading my daughter's privacy. The first pages were innocent, teenage notes, but soon the narrative changed. Emily described secret meetings, hidden letters, and a forbidden love that blossomed in the shadows of our disapproval. She spoke of an unbreakable bond, and how the truth would one day come out. Every word was a stab, revealing a parallel life that I, her mother, had never suspected. If you've ever felt betrayed by someone you loved, you know the pain I felt. Share your experience in the comments and help strengthen our community. Emily's notes in the diaries were a labyrinth of emotions and secrets. She described the person banished from our family not as a villain, but as someone misunderstood. A soulmate that fate had tried to separate. Mom and Dad never understood, she wrote in an entry dated 10 years ago. They only see the mistake, not the love that unites us. But I know he is good, and one day, they will see it too. With each page, the image of my daughter, whom I thought I knew so well, crumbled, revealing a complex woman, torn between loyalty to family and a love that she considered stronger than any prohibition. Emily detailed her clandestine meetings, the elaborate excuses to justify her absences, the constant fear of being discovered. She spoke of the loneliness of keeping such a big secret, but also the euphoria of living a love that, for her, was pure and true. The dates indicated that these meetings continued for years, even after the tragedy that had sealed that person's fate in our family. I read with a mixture of anger and despair. How could I have been so blind? How could my daughter, to whom I dedicated my life, deceive me for so long? Arthur's pain in the hospital was a constant reminder of the cost of these secrets. Delving deeper into the diaries, Emily's web of deceit revealed itself in all its complexity. It wasn't just secret meetings. They were plans, strategies, an entire life built on dissimulation. She mentioned how she had used Arthur's trust, who was always more lenient, to cover up her escapade. "Daddy is so naive," she wrote. "He never suspects anything. Just a smile and a flimsy excuse." Those words hit me like a lightning bolt. It wasn't just me who had been deceived, but Arthur too, and in an even crueler way. Emily described how she manipulated situations, how she used family quarrels as an opportunity to meet the forbidden person. She even mentioned the family tragedy, not with remorse, but with a strange justification, as if the event had been a trial by fire for her love. The most shocking revelation came in a recent entry, dated just a few months ago. Emily spoke of a final plan, something that would change everything, and that would finally bring the truth to light. The forbidden name appeared again, but this time accompanied by a phrase that chilled my blood. "He will pay for what he did, and then finally we will be free." What was Emily planning? And what did that mean for Arthur, who was still unconscious in the hospital? Emily's chest of secrets had turned into a Pandora's box, and I feared what else was about to be released. Arthur was stable, but still unconscious, and I felt torn between concern for him and the urgent need to unravel Emily's final plan. I returned to the diaries, looking for any clue that could give me direction. On one of the last pages, I found a yellowed newspaper clipping, dated 20 years ago, talking about the car accident that took the life of Arthur's brother David, the forbidden name. The article mentioned negligence and recklessness, attributing the blame to David, which had led to his family ostracism. But Emily had scribbled in the margin, "Lies. He was framed." Next to the clipping, there was an address and a phone number, written in Emily's same nervous handwriting. It was the office of a private detective in Burlington, Vermont. At that moment, anger gave way to a painful understanding. Emily was not planning a cruel revenge against David. She was seeking justice for him. The "he will pay" did not refer to David, but rather to the true perpetrator of the tragedy, someone who had manipulated the truth and destroyed a family's life. My heart ached. How could I have judged my daughter so harshly, when she was, in fact, trying to correct a mistake that had haunted us for decades? I needed to act, and fast. With the number in hand, I called the detective. He answered with a deep but attentive voice. "Mrs. Santos? Emily told me you might contact me. She asked me to give this to you, in case something happened." He referred to a sealed envelope, which contained a detailed report and irrefutable evidence. The report revealed that David's accident was not caused by his recklessness, but rather by an intentional mechanical failure in the car, orchestrated by an old partner of Arthur and David, who wanted to get rid of David to take full control of the company. The shock was overwhelming. Arthur and I had lived a lie for 20 years, blaming an innocent man and banishing him from our lives. Emily, in her tireless search for the truth, had uncovered a conspiracy that would destroy us if it weren't for her courage. Tears streamed down my face as I read the evidence. David was not the villain. He was the victim. And Emily, my daughter, had dedicated years of her life to clear her uncle's name, the man she loved and who had been wronged. Arthur finally woke up a few days later, still weak, and I told him everything. At first he refused to believe, but the evidence was undeniable. The pain in his eyes was palpable, but for the first time in a long time, I saw a glimmer of relief. The truth, however painful, finally set us free. The revelation of the truth about David and the conspiracy behind the accident shook our family to its foundations, but it also gave us the chance to rebuild. Arthur's partner was confronted with the evidence, and after an investigation was arrested. David, who had moved to Arizona and built a new life, was contacted by Emily. The reunion was emotional, full of tears and forgiveness. Arthur, still recovering, made a point of personally apologizing to his brother, and the family, which was once broken, began to heal. Emily, my daughter, whom I had judged so harshly, emerged as the silent heroine of our story. She taught me that love and loyalty can manifest in unexpected ways, and that truth, however hidden, always finds a way. Today our Vermont home is full of laughter again. Arthur and David are rebuilding their relationship, and Emily, finally free from her secrets, is happier than ever. I learned that life is a journey of discovery, and that sometimes the greatest treasures are hidden in dusty diaries, waiting to reveal truths that can change everything. If this story touched your heart and made you reflect on the importance of truth and forgiveness, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more transformative stories.